It's that time of the day for the Stargazer segment with the one and only. He is the triplet, Brandon Ellis.
Alright guys, welcome to Stargazer, where we gaze to the stars and we look at science fiction as a whole and how it relates to our little small planet Earth nowadays. Now, if you remember last week, I had a little comparison, Star Trek versus Star Wars, and looking at the hat, can you guess how that went?
It would definitely be Star Trek.
Right. And I decimated Star Wars, and I feel bad because I am a big Star Wars guy too. So, in all fairness, I decided to put together a list of the 10 reasons why you should watch Star Wars. Okay, so let's go to number 1. George Lucas's world. His vision is iconic, it is legendary, it has paved the way for a lot of different other alien worlds and science fiction. You look at those made-up planets, Tatooine, Hoth, the Dagobah system, just the Death Star, like different worlds and ideas from this man's single vision, and it really did so much, and they're so iconic, and everyone knows about it. Even people who haven't seen Star Wars, they do know what Hoth looks like, or Tatooine, or the mice, the cantina, where you hear the Star Wars theme. Well, not the Star Wars theme, but a song. Anyway, let's get to number 2 here. The memorable characters. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, you know who they are, and you love them. Each character was, and is, because it's still going as a series, distinct, iconic, and memorable. And to this day, people remember them, whether that be through different articles of fiction, whether that be through books, or they dress up through cosplay. They really resonated with a lot of people and paved the way for other great characters that you'd see. For example, Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy took a lot from, let's say, the idea of Han Solo. So there definitely is a lot of influence in our pop culture. Number 3, John Williams' fantastic score. Remember going back to last week how I said Star Trek was great, couldn't be topped. But when it comes to music, Star Wars is here, and Star Wars is somewhere down in China. The iconic score with John Williams is memorable, it's iconic, and if you just hear the first few notes of any single song, I guarantee you'll know that it's Star Wars. Alright, number 4, it's very similar to number 2, the weird alien designs. Everyone knows the Wookiees, Chewbacca, and the different aliens amongst the planet. It's something we take for granted now, but there's a lot of practical effects, a lot of different puppets, and even CG work later on that was made to create such unique characters. And speaking of taking things for granted, we take for granted, it's really difficult to think of a whole different species, and George Lucas, he put it together and really, he made an art form out of it, so I commend him for that. Okay, and we got number 5, the classic good versus evil, light and dark side force story. Now, I said in the Star Trek versus Star Wars comparison that Star Trek is complex, it has layers like an onion, and Star Wars is just good versus evil. Although that is true, there's really something to be said about that idea. It's something that's lived on in the classic hero's tale that you'd see in classic Greek mythology and culture, and it's transcended time, and George Lucas really adapted that into the modern age, which really became accessible for so many people, majority of our society as we know it. We have the good side, and we have the dark side. Y'all know it? And most of you love it, unless you're a Trekkie like me. Okay, next for number 6, it's action-packed, and it's an adventure the whole way through. Now, the prequels had a lot of boring political talk, but we're talking about 4, 5, and 6. Those original 3 were a nice, fun adventure. Again, Star Trek, it's good if you want a nice intellectual time, but Star Wars, if you want some fun, you better check it out. Alright, number 7, a reason why you should see Star Wars is everyone else has seen it. Can you imagine going to the dinner table and like a friend's talking about Star Wars and you don't know what Darth Vader said to Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back? Could you imagine how awkward that would be? So, just for peer pressure's sake, you should see Star Wars. Number 8, it's in Disney World. Star Wars is so iconic, so legendary that it got the eyes of Mickey Mouse, and now Disney, the Walt Disney Corporation, has Star Wars under its realm. So if you're in Disney World and you go on one of the Star Wars rides, to better understand it, watch the movies. Alright, number 9, we're going to talk about Yobama. Now, Yobama is a very odd, unique creature. It's a combination of Yoda and Obama. I don't know why, but it's the best thing ever. It's on all over the internet, so check it out, Yobama. And number 10, the 10th reason why you should watch Star Wars are porgs. They're little alien bird-type seal creatures. They're stupid, they don't make any sense, but they sure are cute. That's about it. Watch Star Wars.
Great job, Brandon with Stargazer.
Let's get a picture.